Controlled Chaos here. So I have an idea for a City Heroes successor MMO. And the idea takes from different MMOs and also adds in something new. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, I want to take the original concept of City Heroes with the different zones and how big they are and the random generated areas that you fight in when you take missions and do indoor missions, but I want to enhance that a bit. Normally, you go through and you take missions and you'll sort of run out of missions until you do like the architect entertainment. Instead, what I'd like to do is, with not running out of missions, it randomly generates the missions to give you, so you're never running out of missions, so you can always continue playing and send you to the different zones like City Heroes does. You can be level 45 and still get a mission that takes you to Atlas Park, and I like that effect for one main reason. It allows the low level players to see high level players in low level zones, and that's really nice. I like that effect. I want to carry that on also into the successor. With that being said, with these randomly generated missions, it would choose what to give you in that mission. It would choose, okay, are you rescuing hostages? Are you stopping them from stealing something? Are you stopping them from blowing stuff up? Or it could stack multiples on there. They could have hostages and be trying to steal something. Or they could be trying to steal something and wanting to destroy the building type of system that would go on. And that'd be really nice to go with the randomly generated maps, because then each time it'd be something different and you wouldn't know what to expect until you take the mission and you go into the mission, which causes longevity of replay. Yes, the mechanics are the same, but the variables of what mechanics will be in each mission will be different, and you won't know the layout of the map, which I really like that idea. Now, I want to keep the flying, the teleporting, and the super speed. However, with travel powers, I do want to make a few slight changes. For the travel powers, with this super speed, I want to take from DC Universe Online, where you can be running along and instead of having to run around the buildings, you can run up along the sides of the buildings and jump off of them and things like that. It just makes super speed feel so much funner. Now, I do want to take a travel power from Champions Online, and that travel power is swinging and tunneling. I want to take those two from there, and the reason why swinging is just so much fun in Champions Online, and tunneling is sort of a nice one because it's sort of like an invisibility, but it gives you a nice cool graphics as you're tunneling under the ground. Let's move on. Let's talk about combat, how I see combat working out. The way I see combat working out is more of an action-packed direction. And that being, take DC Universe Online's combat. You hit a combinations of mouse buttons to do different attacks. And I like that feel. It feels more interesting and interactive of combat instead of just pressing buttons to get a power to go off. Now, yes, you'll have buttons to press to get powers to go off when you're wanting to do certain specific attacks, like an I-beam attack, things like that would be cool. Another thing I want to do with changes that I want to take from Champions Online is, instead of all of your attacks being off of your fists, make it so that the player can choose where the attacks come from. So they could have one that comes from their eyes. They could have one that comes from their fists in laser blasts. They could do different things like this. And the great thing about this is, let's say, for instance, you take Earth. You could have a ranged attack and you could have it go off your feet. So you'd stomp the ground and basically cause a fissure, and the attack would come from the ground up. Or you could have it instead be that you pull a rock out of the ground and throw the rock at them. And that's the player's choice for how the animation plays out. Another nice change I'd like to see is, yeah, you get weapons in all these different games, but they don't utilize the abilities or powers you have. What would be cool is, let's say you chose fire for your primary ability. So all of your attacks are fire attacks. What if, let's say, you have a spear or a javelin? What if instead of you throwing a fireball from your fists or your eyes or whatever, what if you could shoot it from the javelin and make that an option too? That way you could say that your weapon is your source of power. It could be magical, or it could be technology, or it could be scientific, things like that. Or maybe even mutation, that's the weapon you hold grants that weapon to shoot that power off, and you just don't shoot it off yourself, or a mix thereof. And that's the great thing about the system, is it allows you to customize not just the look of your character, but also how your character uses their abilities, which would be really, really nice. So not all fire-based or electric-based attacks would look the same. Each one would look different from one player to another based on where the attack's coming from, whether it be from a body part or from a weapon. Would be really, really cool. And of course, I want to keep the way City Heroes did character customization. You customize it from the beginning. I want to keep that. That is integral. I want to have a lot of costume parts. You know, wings, capes, gloves, boots, legs, chest. But I want to add in a bit more. I want to add in sort of what Thunder Spy, the City Heroes private server, did, and add in elbow pads and knee pads for you to customize, so you can really go out there and create a unique looking style character, even more than normal. But overall, that's the general idea that I have for what I'd like to see for a successor of City Heroes. What do you guys think? Does this sound interesting? Is there something that you'd like to alter in my ideas? Or do you have another idea that you'd like to add on to it? Things like that. Let me know in the comments down below, and have a great day.